We have reached that crucial day of the year, the day we've been waiting for nearly 2 months, or should I say, for nearly a year. The day when the wheat is separated from the chaff, the cream is isolated from the riffraff, and the real action begins, featuring the top teams in the greatest T20 league going around. Let's talk about the Vitality Blast that got underway this weekend, guys. Welcome to episode 72 of Bits and Pieces, where I guess we may or may not talk about the Vitality Blast, but we will surely talk about the IPL. It was a weekend with net run rate calculators out, and cricket was at the mercy of the fury of nature in Bangalore for a while. A situation that reminds most of us of April 1998 and Sharjah, when Tendulkar overcame a Sharjah sandy storm to put India in the Coca-Cola Cup final. We don't have a sandy storm, but we do have a Sandy G on the podcast today. How are you doing, Sandy?
Good, and thanks a lot. A great weekend for IPL fans, and a lot of new things also. So looking forward.
Sandy is, of course, being politically correct. On the WhatsApp group, he keeps saying all of this is scripted, and he apparently has access to the IPL script, and he has predicted. He predicts everything as soon as it has happened, which is pretty cool, must be said. But yeah, welcome, Sandy. And for people who are not able to see us, Sandy is wearing a yellow jersey today, and the rest of the panel is also shown up correctly in the colors of the 4 teams that have made it to the IPL playoffs, and we'll talk about them shortly. So, like all proper IPL teams, we have some overseas players as well, imported from the Western world. Firstly, the man who founded the Ravi Shastri bot on Twitter before the world knew AI was a buzzword. It is the Detroit Pista, the Bits and Pieces ka Vitruvian man. Max Da Vinci is back on the podcast. Hello, Max. How are you doing?
Hello. Nice to be back.
Max is dressed up in Gujarat Titans dark blue and is feeling quite sad that Sandy has stolen his CSK Thunder with the yellow jersey today. But that's how it goes sometimes. Yeah, good to have you back, Max. I'm going to take the scenic route to introduce our next panelist, who is also an overseas specialist. Allow me to take you back all the way to 2001. September 2001, to be precise, when India were playing Sri Lanka in Colombo. Sri Lanka versus India in 2001. This was the 3rd test match. When you watch this ball, think about the angles. And I'm describing a very specific ball that was bowled by a certain bowler, an off-spinning legend in this test match. And I'm going to describe it in words that were used by Andrew Fidel Fernando. When you watch this ball, think about the angles. Think about whether you have seen anything remotely like this from an off-spinner, or whether you will again. Muthaiya Muralidharan is coming around the wicket, bowling from about as wide as the laws allow. The ball is traveling at such a skewed angle across the pitch that had it not wavered from its original course, it would have surely missed a second set of stumps also on the leg side. But then, this is Murali. The ball drifts. It lands a half-foot outside leg stump, and then it lands, bites, turns, jumps. The left-handed batsman is clueless. He wasn't planning to use the bat. He's too late to use the pads. He's way out of his depth and playing the wrong line. It goes past him and bang into the off-stump. The keeper, Kumar Sangakkara, leaps in joy. Murali has bowled Sadagopan Ramesh for the ball of the 21st century. And here we have the boy of the 21st century, Murali Sadagopan. Say hello, boss. How are you doing?
I had no idea how this was building up, man. Like it connected like 2 completely disconnected roads into one beautiful street. Thank you for that lovely introduction, for the comparison to such legends. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, connecting 2 completely unconnected roads through a street is exactly what Ramesh felt about that ball. I'm sure you guys know the ball that I'm talking about, right? It's on YouTube. Check it out. It is a magic ball. And it was bowled in the 21st century, unlike Shane Warne's Mike Gatting delivery. So it is the ball of the 21st century, after all. I must also say Murali is taking time out of his celebrity schedule on this fine Sunday evening in Lisbon. He's performing a stand-up set later this evening. So listeners, if you have a Portugal visa, and more importantly, if you have a time machine, I suggest you travel to Sunday evening in Portugal to witness a wonderful stand-up act later this evening.
Thank you for that. I look forward to a good show after this show as well.
Ooh, now the pressure is too high. So yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, everybody. So like I said, Murali is also in blue, but he's in the Lucknow Super Giants shade of blue, while I am in the Mumbai Indians shade of blue. So that completes the panel. Those are the 4 teams that have made the IPL playoffs. So initial thoughts, guys. Take it away. What do you think about the last weekend and the lineup that we have for the playoffs?
Before we start, is I'm just Nitin's voice is a bit muffled for me. Is it for that? Is it that for everyone? It's clear.
No,
Okay.
Roxanne.
Sorry.
ठीक है.
For you alone, I will speak loudly. Da.
No.
Munde bar loudly.
Louder,
My-
louder.
My initial thoughts around what happened was, I think you said the wheat from the chaff and all. I think that happened 2-3 matches ago. Like at least a few more matches before. There was so much chaff down there. They were all fighting to see who was worse chaff. Right? It was kind of that kind of a fight, and the kind of exhibition of cricket RR and Mumbai showed is really crazy. Like I can't comprehend how these two teams turned around their fortunes the way it is, because we remember completely writing, like Mumbai weren't even in the reckoning in any of the people in Mumbai. Like Mumbai fans didn't put Mumbai into the qualifier.
Yeah.
And today, to see what they pulled off, and even after the first half of their Mumbai game, we were still joking, oh, yet another script, they're going to be knocked out. They acted like they came close, but it's going to be out. But they held their nerve and they're through. And there is a good chance they would give LSG a solid fight and come face whoever is going to get out of
Yeah.
GT and CSK as well, right? So I think Mumbai definitely needs some credit. Whatever happened in that ship, they woke up Rohit Sharma from his Kumbhakarna slumber. Then they told him, dude, you are somewhere in the top 5 batters in the world. You remember that. Go out and hit some runs. And he turned his fortunes around, man. He's been playing pretty decently.
Yeah, given where he was, where he started, yeah, he has definitely turned around the season. Fair point. But yeah, full credit to Mumbai Indians. I think they are one of the teams that a lot of us wrote off, especially when two of their main fast bowlers were ruled out with injuries, Jofra Archer and Jasprit Bumrah. I remember saying a couple of years back that, the next 5 years belong to Mumbai Indians because they now have these two great bowlers in their lineup. Plus, they have everything that was going for them when they had won that season a couple of years back. It all went pear shape last year, and it looked like it was going to be worse this year, but they've turned it around with a bunch of local players, right? And we should also point out, apart from the fact that Rohit Sharma has had a bad season, Surya Kumar Yadav's season began in terrible fashion as well. So they had pretty much nothing going for them, and Ishan Kishan has really contributed nothing this entire season. So the Nehal Vaderas and the whoever else that they have,
Tilak Verma and
of course.
Madhwal.
Yes, who is the new fantasy boy, what does you call it? Yeah, secret trump card in fantasy games. Yeah, pretty cool to see what Mumbai has done. Sandy, was this in your script?
Yeah, but I think they lost the plot there because they could have easily capitalized on Kohli versus Gambhir fight, but no, they let Mumbai go through. But great matches, both of them, and not to forget that CSK had a really one-sided match to qualify, and GT was already there. So I think the best 4 teams we can say have qualified. Although I would like to remind that at the start of the IPL, we all predicted different teams. I think CSK and GT were there, but everyone predicted RR and
nobody predicted CSK, Macha. I predicted
Nobody.
CSK. I'm good. This is going to be Nitin Sundar predicted that CSK will make the playoffs in 2023. It's the only thing of note I've done in a long time. Okay, I'm taking that with me to my grave. Nobody else put their money on CSK. But yeah, I think all of us said Rajasthan will make it. I think lots of us said Lucknow will make it and Gujarat will make it. Even Rajasthan will be surprised that they did not make it. But then that's how it goes. I think Tony, unfortunately, not on the podcast. He's been very silent on WhatsApp as well for the last many hours because he still believes that something will happen and Rajasthan will somehow make it. I spent a lot of time looking at that scenarios table, wondering how Rajasthan is going to make it. And I thought, yeah, if Tony wills it to happen, it could happen. But it did not. And I think the moment where Rajasthan lost their race to the playoff was when Sandeep Sharma bowled that no ball against whoever that was, against Abdul Samad. Max, do you remember that moment? Or like everyone else, have you forgotten what happened 10 minutes back?
No. That RR's whole thing has been really weird, man. Like they've won games that they wouldn't have won. They've lost games that they should have never lost. And from being pre-tournament favorites to now not in the tournament is an absolute shame, especially for the riches of that team, right? The other teams at least have injuries and are not playing with a lot of their first choice players, but RR has none of those problems. Everyone that they picked has been available, has been playing shit, but still has been playing. unlike Mumbai or CSK or even now Lucknow, right? All of these three teams are there without their first choice 11. And that's just crazy. So it was very interesting to follow Sandeji's script theories, this past week. And I don't think he was wrong. It was all nicely building up to another GG versus VK Delhi boys, face off in Chennai. But I think Nitaji pulled the rug at the very last moment. Some calls were made. Some Rupee UPI happened. And now Mumbai is in the playoffs. But Mumbai is that one team. And I've been telling this to a lot of my friends also for a very long time, is that from the time that it was, I think they lost their first 3 games or first 4 games. I don't remember. I think it was 3.
Which
and
is basically every season, by the way. Every season they lose the first 3 games or 4 games. Yeah.
And then the 4th game of theirs that they won, that I was like so angry that day. And I was like, dude, why are you like last team? Why are you so getting pissed off with them? I was like, no, they are not like that. They are like this, tiger that grows up eating grass. One day suddenly bites into meat and now doesn't want that shit. That is that team. You cannot, once you have them, you have to crush them. You have to send them out of the tournament. They'll be happy. But once they start, and that's that whole period of, where Sky was horrible. And their bowling even now is horrible, right? They're conceding 200s and one. But that batting, man, what the hell is that batting? And they came all this far with Robro completely being out of form. And today we have woken up him also saying, come, aap bhi aa jao. So, I think they should just stop the tournament. Today is the last day of the tournament. Hand over the trophy. Take 1 week of break for the WTC. Prepare with the Duke's ball. Things will make more sense. You can cut down four more useless games and get a better shot at the WTC. We can just stop the tournament right now.
Just give it to Mumbai, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. And they will, whenever they want, they will fall. It seems they will get chasing. It seems they will go and chase. It seems, but whichever ground does not matter. In Jaipur they will chase. In Mohali they will chase. In Bangalore they will chase. Tomorrow in Namo Stadium also they will chase. Not happening much.
The only player who has not yet contributed anything for them is probably Surya Kumar Yadav, because Rohit has also it's probably Ishan Kishan, because Rohit has also come into form now, and Cameron Green.
He got like a 50. He got another 40.
150 and all. Even Mayank Agarwal got a 50 today. Like 150 and all we can't talk about. But okay, fair enough. But Cameron Green hitting form at the perfect moment. They spent a lot of money to get him. Some of those sixes were massive today.
Yeah. I just want to talk a little bit about both CSK and MI. Like, we thought last year was that year of reckoning, right? We finally proved these two are base teams with a bunch of oldies. They should have been written off. And then they come right back to second and third and second and fourth.
Who is we?
Again.
Why are you referring to yourself in the multiples?
You strongly believe CSK and MI would finish the top 4 before the start of the season?
No.
Based on what performances they were last
I had CSK as 6th. In fact, I had GT and CSK as 5th and 6th. My final 4 was RR, SRH, DC, RCB. And RCB with GT and CSK sneaking in. One of these guys shit the bed.
I think,
but all 4 of them have shat the bed. This is like complete explosive diarrhea that has happened. They all have gone down. The next 4 below them have come up now.
I think you just flipped the table. And
basically Mac's strategy is what Don Bradman used in that Ashes, right? Where he sent all the tailenders to 1, 2, 3, 4 and then he came in the bottom. He sent all tailenders up. They all been dismissed now, shat the bed. Dude, CSK, I had no doubt, man. CSK's problem last year was the captaincy change. That team runs entirely. There is one computer that is running that team. Okay. That computer is about to be decommissioned. After that, don't ask me. I don't know what will happen. That computer is running that team. Right? Now it is all USB cable has fallen off and I don't know what will happen. But graphic cards is glitching now.
I felt like the trump card was Chepak actually. I thought that the fact that they got Chepak back was a huge sort of value for them to be able to turn around games. Because if you gave the same team and sent him to Dubai, I think Dhoni will still get I don't think he'd be able to survive with that, because this is not the greatest bowling attack or anything. There is some Tikshana, Takshana, there are 2 Maheshes, 3 Matishes, and then
Boss, there are totally 4 Sri Lankans in the whole IPL. Okay, and that two of them are main bowlers for
50%
CSK.
CSK.
The other two are one Sri Lankan superstar who doesn't make the starting 11. That's Vadindo Hasaranga. The other one is Sri Lanka's captain who came and lost the game, who played really badly today, which is Dasun Sharaka, right? So, but that is basically CSK, right? Whatever spare part is there, you give, we will run it. We'll run one vehicle with that. We'll make the best plan possible with whatever we have. And very often that is good enough to be in the top 4. That's all it is. Because there are other teams that are sending Ravichandran and Ashwin to open the innings, man. Like, you just have to use common sense and do the basics right. That CSK will do that. Dhoni will ensure that happens.
I think at some point in time, CSK, when Deepak Chahar was injured, CSK had 4 bowlers who were at an average age of 22 and at an average cost of, I think, 40 lakhs, 40 lakhs. Yeah.
The total was less than 1 crore. The total was less than 1 crore.
And soon after that, one of those bowlers also got injured, which is Sanda Magala. So after that, they're like, okay, how to cope with Mailapurla, that fellow, I saw bring him. Akash Singh, you come, put some over, come. Yeah. But often that is also good enough. I don't know. We can talk about CSK, but yeah. But what about the other teams? Lucknow Super Giants eventually made it after all the memes.
Lucknow, I still don't understand, man. How that team still does not make sense. From any, like, Deepak Hooda will not play. In India capped, but because of who the current captain is, he cannot play. And then they don't have another opener. They have dropped Mayers and
they didn't play the main player for half the tournament because their other
Correct.
player played very well. So that's all.
They got one guy who played in one match, so they just used this guy. And whatever wins they have had, right? If you look at their wins, have been primarily because of Hulk and Nicky P. That has all been.
Who's
Stoinis.
Okay. And correct. Yeah.
Bautista.
Their wins have come purely from there. So I don't know much. Like, Mumbai is just going to steamroll them. It's going to be a very embarrassing game.
Yeah, fair point. I will definitely I'll definitely back Mumbai to put it past Lucknow Super Giants.
Are we reverse jinxing Mumbai again?
Please, I hope we do.
Also, Krunal Pandya doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed, right? Like, I don't know what to say. But I was reading somewhere, apparently Andy Flower has a fantastic record as a coach or whatever he is. He is the coach, right? He is the coach for Lucknow Super Giants. So his teams typically always make the sharp end of the tournaments that they go to. So while Krunal Pandya and KL Rahul and Gautam Gambhir are like, the smoke screen that we all look at. I think the person calling the shots behind them is Andy Flower.
I don't know if Krunal Pandya has marshaled his resources so well enough, because in many games I wrote them off around the 14th over, 13th over. I was like, this is done. LSG are going to lose. And someone out of nowhere, this Nicholas Puran will hit like 500 of 7 balls, and then before you know it, the game is like 2 of 2. And it's only those 3 overs. I'll go to the bathroom or I'll go out for a walk and come back, and Nicholas Puran has finished the game. I'm like, why are you doing that? At least give us a notice. And the same thing with Stoinis too, right? And even Australia are finding it so hard to decide whether they should pick him or not, because they don't know whether he has form, whether he's a bowler, he's a batsman, he's a decent fielder. And then suddenly he comes here and hits shots outside of the ground, scores some 80 of 35-40. It's a very surprising team for me. And I never thought I'd say this. KL Rahul was actually being a good captain with these people. Like the results he got last year and in the first half of this year, dude, whatever happened in his head happened fine. That he got some results out of them. That when he got injured, I wrote them off. Again, they were like, you can't write us off, because we don't write ourselves off. We don't know what we are doing. We try random things, and they sneak their way into 3rd place comfortably.
Even their bowling, I think they have Avesh Khan, they have Bishnoi, they have Naveen-ul. Somehow that is clicking, but not a very
Avesh hasn't played since he broke the helmet, boss.
I mean, they had Mark Wood also before that. I mean, but
he came to 5 wickets, then gone.
Then Dhoni hit him for 2 sixes, so he's gone.
So I'm actually looking at the list of highest wicket takers, right? So the biggest wicket taker for LSG is Ravi Bishnoi. He has only 16 wickets, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11th.
12th or something. Yeah, 11th or 12th.
Not in the top 10.
Not in the top 10.
Also, if you look at the teams that they have beaten Hyderabad twice, they have beaten DC, they have beaten KKR, they have beaten RCB. They beat Mumbai in that one game there where he was praying to that photo every 5 minutes. and they beat Rajasthan in one game. Right, those have been their wins. The CSK game got rained out. The GT game they lost. The RCB second game they lost. So their wins have actually come that way. So it has been a very, this is all I would say that photo mahima of that Goenkaji is carrying in his pocket. This is all we need to know. Is that Sherawali Mata or Santoshi Mata, whatever that is, we need to know. I think that is what has brought them here.
Yeah, so Bishnoi 11th in the table of wickets is their highest wicket taker. Marcus Stoinis 19th in the overall table. Marcus Stoinis has scored less than half the number of runs Faf du Plessis has scored. And Faf du Plessis has the orange cap, right?
Orange cap.
He's 90th in the table. There's nobody from LSG in the top 18 places, man, like for highest run getters. And even below that, you have Mayers and Puran who have scored like 300 odd runs. So very, very interesting campaign, which has somehow taken them to third place. Yeah.
We measure average score of all the top 7 batters or something and keep that as some weird metric as a proponent of measurement of impact. Maybe LSG will come because everybody scores a great 30. Like they're amazing scorers of a 30 of 10, 30 of 14, which is super critical because they get to that 179, 180, and then Bishnoi is bowling his for the fast tweakers that he chops on. Yeah. And before you know it, they've been able to defend a few. And in some aspects of it, I think LSE also reminds me of the kind of team that says it does not matter what stage of the game you are in. For you, you just go out and wildly swing, which can apply to most teams, but I don't think everybody does a perfect job of it. These guys really do. Like they go out straight up, start swinging, and I think sometimes work for them because Krunal, right? Like you can't really point to Krunal and say, "Oh, this is what you did for the team, man. You bowled well that match. You have batted well that match." There is not one instance of Krunal being an actual contributor of anything, but he's always here. 1-2 wickets, he'll get something one over and then never bowl again. He'll score that 12 of 4 and then never bat again. It's very strange, but it works for him.
Yeah, pretty good. Good season for them. But do you think they can put it past Mumbai though? I would definitely favor Mumbai in that game.
Especially not in that reverse fixture.
As in Chennai. What is reverse fixture?
No, the reverse fixture, right? They beat them at Wankhede in that last Mohsin Khan over.
No, I'm talking about the playoffs.
So they will come very, very hot. This is like asking, is the starting 11 of CSK going to change? No, man. Don't talk about playoffs. Over. It's over.
Anyway.
But CSK will lose to GT. Then CSK will lose to Mumbai. Tala Dhoni will get 3 balls plus 3 plus 3, 6 balls to play. It is done. So next Sunday again we can do the podcast and say how Mumbai has number 6 and all that.
Rohit Sharma, I thought we'll bowl first, but we batted first and we won the final. Whatever. Yeah, possible. No, the turning point for LSG for their wonderful run to third place is the injury to their captain. I feel if KL Rahul was overseeing this campaign, I somehow think RCB would have been the other team in the playoffs. Good on them. They managed to shed the deadweight at the right time. So, quick pop quiz question to you guys. Unless I think, some of you probably know the answer, but can you tell me who hit the most sixes so far in the IPL?
Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yashasvi.
Oh, you don't know? No, it's not him. Jaiswal is not in the top 3, not in the top 4.
Yashasvi must be.
Faf is number 2, right?
Faf is number 1, by the way. So Faf scored 730 runs with 36 sixes. But here's the tricky question, right? Guess who's number 2?
Shubman Gill.
No.
Lots of boundaries, probably.
Gill is there, but he's not.
Nicky P.
No, it's not Nicky P.
Nicky P doesn't even have enough runs in his belt.
It is Shivam Dube, man. Sasta Yuvraj has hit.
Oh, 6. Yeah.
He's hit 33 sixes. He's only scored 385 runs with 33 sixes. It means for every 10 runs he's scoring, 6 of them come in one shot. It's incredible, right?
There was a stat when he was batting the other day saying that Watson holds the franchise record for 35 sixes, and the stat was, will Dube cross that? And on air, I think it was Harsha. He's like, he may cross that in this inning itself. And he hit 160, the 31. He hit 32, 33, and then he became out.
And the best part is he's not even, all of these are in the middle overs. He doesn't last till the slog overs also, right? He usually gets out at the
Yeah.
50th, 60th over. He's hitting only spinners. He can't play fast bowling for nuts. But yeah, that is CSK for you. Ninga sir, you please hit the spinners. We others cannot. You only have to hit. No, you hit. Okay, I will hit.
It's also tactics, right? Like Dube comes out to bat, and then I don't know why Warner sends Lalit Yadav to bowl.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
You're turning it away.
This guy has a reputation of just hitting sixes. Dhoni in press conference also is telling that, yeah, he hits the sixes very well. We're sending him to hit the spinners.
Yeah.
And then the moment he walks out, like Gaikwad is out. He's coming out one down. Okay, Lalit Yadav, why don't you try to bowl to him?
Yeah, I think one of the things CSK has done well this year is hitting the sixes, right? So Conway has hit a few. Ruturaj has also hit. Ruturaj is quite high on that table too, 28 sixes. Rinku Singh is up there, 29. I think he's next after Dube. So yeah, that's and I think that's one big thing that we're seeing this season, right? Like the currency, sixes as a currency have definitely been more frequently exchanged, like the 2,000 rupee notes that are going out of fashion. Sixes are being traded in a fever pitch in this IPL. Partly because of I feel because of the impact sub, people are saying impact sub makes no difference and all, but I think it has made a change to basically become 12 versus 12 and more sixes are being hit.
So we now have 1,050 some boundaries in the tournament, right?
1,063 or something like that.
Yeah.
And what is that? How does that compare with prior seasons?
It's more than last year. Last year was the highest, and this year has gone higher. I think last year was 1,040, 1,050, something like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A lot more runs scored. Shivam Dube is also a special character in terms of hitting. I saw this really funny Instagram reel where he comes and they mark his guard and they think they're going to mark his guard. Instead of putting a line there, he put super glue. And then he he locked his feet to the ground and then what are you doing? Every ball six.
Without moving the feet. And then he gets out. And then he gets out and he asks someone to come in now. Please remove my feet. I need to walk.
I laughed so hard because it was so relatable. That's the way he bats. Even when he swivels to find leg, his leg is still facing somewhere towards gully. I'm like, how did you turn your body like that and hit? It's a talent. He's practicing it too. Good on him.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant how they've managed to unlock him and unlock like pre-tournament, right? If you put all the squads together and not just playing 11s, not probable playing 11s, all the full squads together and said, okay, if you have to pick out 2 breakout players from this list, they will not be in your first pull, second pull, third pull. It will be your last discard pile saying, iska to impossible. From here, maybe something.
I thought Dube, Vijay Shankar will get benched in this season because of the impact player rule, because they were playing as all rounders earlier. Correct. They could get 1 or 2 overs out of them. With their bowling, they were not going to bowl, and they have not bowled this year at all. But they have not only played all the games, but they've also made significant impact. Yeah, so they're
being player of the tournaments, right? Player of the matches they've been winning. So it's how they've been unlocked is a fabulous study, and we have to really doff the hat to Nairaji as well as Flem for that, like how being able to extract that out of them. Because Vijay Shankar, I thought, was a goner. Like last year also,
Absolutely.
And even the SMAT, if you see, I don't think he has done much in the SMAT as well. So yeah, him coming out of the straps and just going ballistic is that first I think that his first game he scored 50, right? 50 of 27 or 50 of 36. Yeah. It's like, where is this coming from, bro?
Yeah. Hey, there is I don't know, there was a noise that was coming. I don't know if that is what you were asking about, but it was on top. It has stopped now. It was coming when Max was talking.
No. Max talks, he hits the table, I think.
Impact of this.
I got thrown off a few times and I was like, no, it's just the emotion is coming.
School debate team.
Don't get irritated emotion. No, since you mentioned SMAT, I have to bring in the great Ranji Trophy discussion here. Mayank Agarwal scored some 9,500 runs or something in the Ranji season, right? And everyone said this year IPL is going to kill it. He scored his first 50 of the tournament today. in the last league match, and he's one of the main reasons why his team finished where they finished, right? Which was his team? Whichever team, Sunrisers, correct. So many teams. So what does this have to say about the Ranji Trophy, guys? And what does this have to say about the IPL? Should we just say there are two different formats and not read too much into it, or as the Ranji Trophy just jump the shark? Because Agarwal looked terrible, man, this IPL. He had, I don't know what he was doing in the Ranji Trophy that he scored so many runs. Or his game is just now.
Sarfaraz says hi. Sarfaraz says hi. Prithvi Shaw says hi.
True. Yeah, all these guys.
Yes. Njag is knocking on the door. Like, where are these guys, man?
Exit door. He opened the exit door and went away. Rutraj probably is the one person who scored in both tournaments, right?
Yeah, Rutraj is the only guy from Vijay Hazare.
And Rahane, of course. The great Rahane.
I think Yashasvi also had some runs behind him, right?
Yeah, Yashasvi did. Yeah, agreed. But I mean, Agarwal was such a letdown, man. And yeah, like you guys mentioned, all these guys. Patidar, unfortunately, missing out. But yeah, so many other highly expected names not scoring any runs.
I think those are different formats also, and we are also, I mean, the level of bowling also is different. Of course, Ranji Trophy is domestic bowlers, and they are facing the likes of Mark Wood or other Naveen-ul is also becoming a good bowler. So they are facing good quality bowlers. They are not able to cope up with probably.
Yeah, in Ranji Trophy they face Aam Aadmi bowlers. In IPL they face Naveen-ul who is Aam Aadmi bowler. So
I don't think it's just that.
Yeah.
I think Vijay Shankar is a good example of people who practice to want to really make their place and want to contribute in this format. I don't think it has much to do with what they did in Ranji at all. Like in Ranji, they're able to score runs, but it's not something repeatable if you come into this with like so much more eyeballs, the kind of pressure you get dropped. I mean, much bigger players. Rabada was sitting on the fringe and wiping benches. Like, I think Adil Rashid never got a game, if I remember correctly. So, one game. So it's so cutthroat that you really want to put time and effort. And Sarfaraz, like Mayur says, is failing the way he's failing, is a clear sign that those people didn't put in the yards to try and hone a craft that will keep them in longevity in this kind of a game, which is why they're sucking the way they are sucking. Some of the others, or maybe they are focusing on test game and in the longer run he wants to be a test batter. I don't know, but Yashasvi and funnily even Rahane have put in the effort to want to play this format, and it shows. He's in the top 5 strike rates. Rahane, like who would have put Rahane in that list? The odds of a bet there would have gotten you like 1:1,000 or something. If you said the top 5 strike rates, Rahane would be number 5. So it speaks volumes about what they put in to get here.
Yeah, and a lot of the people who have done well are people who were just picked up out of nowhere, right? Like Suyash, for instance, came for a net or something and they picked him at KKR. And there were other players. I think some of the batters also are people with absolutely no, at any level, they've not really done anything.
Nehal Vadera, I don't think has played first class yet.
Yeah. So yeah, different format, different sport altogether. Right. Any other thoughts on the IPL, guys? Should we? So let's quickly make predictions because the next episode will be after the final. So Max has already said, give it to Mumbai, go home and practice with Duke's ball. What about the others?
No, Kokabura now. Kokabura has been officially made the WTC test match ball.
Really?
Did Tony approve this? How can it change like that? Tony clearly read out some rule the other day saying that.
Yeah, no, only Dan Brettig said some rubbish that Kookaburra was going to be used. Nobody else said it.
And it was brushed aside, but the organization said they were going to use a regular Duke's ball that they always use in their conditions. That's the last message even I read got.
Yeah, it will be Duke's ball and not Okay, WTC. Okay, I just googled Duke's ball WTC. First link is a YouTube video which says it will be Duke's ball and not Kookaburra. Second link is a Reddit thread which said WTC final will be played with Kookaburra and not Duke. So now I don't know which one to read.
Steve Smith has been practicing getting out LBW to the Duke's ball. So it is the Duke's ball.
Yeah. No, it is the Duke's ball only. I think Dan Brady created some confusion needlessly. But so WTC final ke pehle, it will be Mumbai Indians, says Max. Sandy, who do you think is going to win the final of the IPL?
I think GT is way ahead of others. They have a very good lineup. They have a very balanced lineup. Their bowlers are doing really well. Gill is outstanding. I don't think any team can beat GT in this
GT.
tournament. Yes.
Got it. And who will they beat in the final?
Mumbai Indians, as Max says.
Oh, so everything same script, but as you have the correct script. So, Murali, who's going to win the IPL, man?
I think we're going to see a repeat of the first qualifier in the final again, like CSK is GT. Whoever is going to get kicked, probably, CSK will go and beat Mumbai and come back again to the final. And there is a good chance, like Sandy says, GT will get through, because I don't see, CSK winning. And if the final is, I think it's at Ahmedabad again, right? Because the two qualifiers are Chidambaram, so MI Chidambaram. So I think there's a good chance that GT will get through, home ground, bigger and all of that. That's kind of my prediction. Also, because you spoke about Mumbai, do you know who the highest wicket taker for Mumbai is?
Piyush Chawla.
Exactly. So if Piyush Chawla didn't have it in his dreams also that I'm going to go at some 40 years of age and be top wicket taker, right? So
I think he's still 34, by the way.
He's 34. He's same age as Virat Kohli.
He's 3 years younger than me. I can't crack 8 jokes about him.
I understand, but he rates himself as somebody who's well outside of this, right? I didn't think he was a regular even in the Mumbai squad. I didn't expect him to play the way he played this year. And they have only that Kartikeya Kumar, or I don't know, Kumar Kartikeya, one other spinner to... It's a weak attack. Yeah, it's a weak attack for them. So I don't see Mumbai making their way.
They had Hrithik Roshan also.
They have everything, man. Hrithik Roshan, Vadera, everything there. Piyush Chawla at 34, that Dream 11 ad, right? You have the 3 idiots. You have Amir Khan, Madhavan, and you have Sharman Joshi, who looks like their uncle now. Now, if there was a 4th idiot, that would have been Piyush Chawla. That's what he's looking like actually.
Exactly.
But he's still taking wickets. He looks like Tendulkar's wax statue more and more now, right? He's bowled really well, has to be said. He bowls that medium pace leg spin, back of a length. I don't know how to define his bowling also anymore. He just rolls over and puts it there. So since all of you are going for Mumbai and Gujarat, I'll go Chennai, man. I don't think anybody in their right mind wants Lucknow Super Giants to win. So I will say Chennai Super Kings, and MSD is going to renew his contract for the next 5 years after winning. That is what is going to happen.
Every year, swan song, Neo, renew 5-year contract.
Yeah, everyone is saying swan song. Swan retire. Dhoni is not. No swan. Continue to play. No chance. Especially if he wins. Yeah. Next, Modi will also come and say, you'll have to keep playing. Last time when they won, Stalin came and told him, you can play forever. We will never ask you to leave. So, yeah. I think he might even play WTC final. Who knows? Anyway, all the other keepers are not looking the part.
I just hope our reverse jinx is not that strong. Otherwise, Lucknow will win.
Let's see, man. We have done our best, right? We have done everything possible. We even put the scanner on the fact that nobody in their team has scored runs or wickets, and they're still at number 3. So yeah, now if Lucknow wins, we know. I mean, they know who to thank. They can sponsor. Their double skills can sponsor the next season of Bits and Pieces. Why not?
But this is what the impact sub rule has done. If you look at both Mumbai and Chennai, the reason why they are in the playoffs is purely because of the impact sub rule, because it has rendered bowling attacks useless, because your batting is just expanded more, right? So already teams would load up with 7 batters or 8 batters if you are CSK, because Deepak Chahar will come at number 9. But now with that impact sub, that list just grows longer. So you have a team like a Mumbai or a Chennai. Same thing again. If one of these teams make the final and they chase, doesn't matter who's on the other side, they are winning. Both Mumbai or Chennai, their batting is so long. With Piyush Chawla comes at 8, Deepak Chahar comes at 8. They will chase no matter what score is put in front of them. It's only they're only going to lose if they bat first, which is going to happen because it is scripted. But that's the only reason. Because think about this: you have an attack with Akash Singh, Tushar Deshpande, Mahesh Tikshana, Matisha Patirana. These guys,
they've all bowled well. By
they've done well is different. But pre-tournament, if you look at it, based on pedigree and where they are, if I tell you Ben Stokes, Deepak Chahar, all these guys are not going to be bowling, and you're going to have these guys. So Jaddu is the only guy who is a decent, legit bowler in that team. There is Jaddu and a bunch of people, and they are in the playoffs.
Humans of Chennai.
Correct. And then look at the other side. You have
No, but
Arjun Tendulkar, Hithik Shokeen, Ramandeep Singh, Piyush
Bagheera,
Chawla.
Karthikeya.
These guys, Kumar Karthik,
Yeah.
like, how is this team?
Even Karthik Kumar. What I'll keep saying.
Yeah, how are these two teams in the playoffs? It just cannot make
No,
sense,
fair
right?
point, but the counterpoint
GT
to
is
that
GT is genuine.
Exactly. The counterpoint is GT, right? And the top two wicket takers in the tournament are Shami and
Yeah,
Rashid.
GT
Shami.
is a gun team. I'm not denying that, right? But
Yeah. So,
these other two teams being in the playoffs, also Lucknow. You look
Yeah.
at Lucknow's also, right? Their
Yeah.
bowling has nothing to say other than Bishnoi. Krunal Pandey and all, you cannot count.
he's not, yeah. Even in their family, they don't count him. They count the other guy first.
Yeah.
So,
No, fair point.
Yeah,
Fair point. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll
it's
see. We'll
this-
see. It's basically MS ka dimag versus Gujarat ka all-round team and Mumbai ka impact players. That is what this is. Or Lucknow ka Super Giants. We will find out who is going to win the IPL in 1 week's time. But yeah, in the meantime, we can look at other topics. We should we start with actually let's talk about this Ashes and injury updates, because I think half of England is injured. Ollie Robinson has picked up an injury.
Yeah.
James
Yes.
Anderson is injured, and who else? There are a bunch of other people who are injured, right? Nobody from Australia is injured, by the way. So, and yeah, whoever is not injured for England is out of form because Joe Root could not even get a net in India after spending a couple of months going up and down India with the IPL. Joss Butler, of course, doesn't play Test cricket, but could not buy a run in the IPL towards the latter stages. Harry Brook has had a shit IPL. Sam Curran has had a bad IPL. Moeen Ali has had a failure IPL. Ben Stokes did not play the IPL. So, and
Mark
Australia on the
Wood
other-
also.
Mark Wood also, and David Willey got injured. Of course, these guys don't play. But and on
Jafra
the other-
Archer is out.
Jafra is out. Yes, so many injuries, right? Their entire bowling attack is gone, right? If they only have Stuart Broad now, and they need
Apparently, Bairstow may be back.
Bairstow
He's
will be
already
back.
playing
Yes,
that
Bairstow is back.
Vitality Blast. He's playing the Vitality Blast, so he's probably back. But I still, I don't know. What is your take on this England side, first of all? Because even the last Ashes, they were definitely going to be beaten, right?
Yeah, but that was
Even with a full
pre-Basball.
strength squad.
Yeah, but that was
Oh.
pre-Basball. Yeah, now everything has changed. Boss, Lawrence Booth has, the Wisden Almanac this time has Stokes and McCullum on the cover, right? Because Basball has swept the world off its feet.
I saw one tweet today, or I'm not sure if it's verified or not, but apparently Big Brain Ben Stokes wants to open the innings or some shit like that. He has put
Batting
out
or
there. He's
bowling?
going batting.
In tests.
He's going to try it out in this Ireland game, it seems, and then
Nice.
decide on what to do for the Ashes. Like what?
Well, what are the other alternatives? So Ollie Pope or something? No, Ollie Pope plays in the middle order.
No,
Who was
so-
their open? They had some funny
I
openers.
think Crawley.
Lawrence.
I think Stokes is better than them only. Okay.
But
Yeah.
yes, there has been a lot of talk on how Crawley is playing, and he's not performed in the last few series, and they've also dropped Ben Fokes. So I mean, people have questioned, and now with Bairstow back, they are not able to accommodate all three in the team.
So the way they can get Fox is out for the Ireland game.
Yes.
They have Bairstow who will keep wickets for the Ireland game, but after that for the Ashes, if they want to get Fox in and Bairstow, then they have to send Stokes up so that then they have that flexibility.
Meanwhile, Labuschagne has got runs in the county game. Steve Smith got a few runs, and he's bowling also these days. The entire Australian attack is fresh because none of them are playing the IPL except for Hazelwood, who plays now and then. But all their other bowlers are
Isn't he injured?
Oh, is he injured? Yeah, sorry, I take that.
I thought Hazelwood was injured. That's what Faf said at the toss.
Oh, then it must be true. Or it might be mind games.
I don't know. These guys have no idea about their teams, man.
Yeah,
So when they asked the question, what about Hazelwood and Hasranga? He said he's injured. But who is the he? Is the he for Hasranga? Is the he for Hazelwood? These guys have no clue. Hardik is like, Ashupa ko pata hai sab kuch. And they walk off like, why do they have tosses, man, these days?
Even Markram made a statement. He was asked why is Umran Malik not playing. He said, "I have no clue why he's not playing. I have not."
Yeah.
That was different, right? That was a clear. All is not well within the Sunrisers dressing room, is what we are led to believe.
Someone posted a picture of the Royals playing 11 for the last game.
Yeah, with everything stuck off. Yeah.
The playing 11 is from the previous game. And then with pen and paper, they have struck off. So they've cut out Ashwin's name. They've wrote Dhruv Jorel. They've cut out someone else's name. Wrote Adam Zampa. Then cut out again.
Yeah, and then somebody cuts out what was all the thing that was written and provides a third replacement, and this team sheet is getting circulated here and there. One of the teams made a mistake. No, I think Sunrisers in one of their games. They started off with the wrong 11, as in they wanted bowling 11 instead of batting 11. This, first of all, this impact sub rule, whatever impact it has on the game, it is a nightmare for people playing fantasy, because now you have no idea who to pick in your 11 or not, right? And Max, as the fantasy expert, please tell us, do you ever pick a player who is in one of the 4 substitutes or in your 11, or do you only go with people who are in the starting 11?
No, I do, because Shubman Gill is always put on the substitute list.
Yes.
Even
Pathirana.
Pathirana, sorry, not Akash Singh. Yeah, correct. Yeah, but with the other teams, you never know, no? Very often.
No, you always know. I think for most teams, right, it has been set. Like for LSG, you have the Mishraji swapping with Ayush Badoni. For here, we have Ambati Raidu with Pathirana. You have Gill swapping with Mohit. You have Piyush swapping with Vadera. I think no one's doing any. The whole impact sub thing has been very tepid in terms of how teams have used them, right? They play one inning with one batter, with one player, and the next inning they use the other player. There is no.
I think in the very first game of the tournament, when Kane Williamson got injured, there was cat amongst the pigeons, because they replaced the batsman with a batsman, I think, Gujarat in that game. But nobody remembers. Everybody's like, Kane Williamson,
No, but otherwise, it has been completely. Like, at least with the SMAT, they did this whole 14 over thing, and at least, then there was something different. Now there's like, you play 111 here, you get one more. Basically, you're playing with 12 players.
Yesterday, one of the games, somebody did something interesting, no? They replaced a bowler with a bowler.
Interesting. It probably ended up being more harmful for them, because they replaced Harshit Rana with Suyash Sharma and gave me 1 over.
Yeah.
Right? He bowled the 15th over or something. He bowled, and because had they brought in one other batsman for where it ended, it would have probably helped them out more. That was the only, in 69 games, that was the only time where a bowler was sub for a bowler or a batter sub for a batter, and it didn't work out for them. So everyone's gone back to doing the normal thing.
I like how we went
yes,
to the IPL.
I just wanted
starting from ashes. But yeah, go on. No, we can do it. No problem.
Captains are giving 2 teams though, right? They're giving for which choice of the toss happens, they'll give 2 teams with a super sub, right? That's true too, right? So which means there is also lots of striking anyway. You have to think of 2 different fashions of teams to put in before. So I think and I don't think captains are thinking so much at all. Like previously, homework, they're not doing 5 minutes before. They're like chaka with
because they do have my sympathies, because there will be a couple of injuries also, and then you have to remember, okay, if we were batting, then this person; if we were bowling, then this person. It's like, screw it.
It is a nightmare, because at the toss earlier, normally itself the toss people they won't remember, and when setting a fantasy team, you have 15 minutes to set your team, and now they're like, what are changes? I don't know. They're like nonchalantly just saying, I don't know, not even trying. We have 4 changes today, but I don't know. What do you mean you have 4 changes that you don't know? And now I am at the mercy of the guy from QuickBuzz to make sure he updates the team sheet properly, so I can go and put that thing in my fantasy team. Oh, it is horrible.
Which is why we are all CSK supporters, because MS will come and say no changes. Every time he come and say no changes, and carry on.
I only have 12 players. You're asking me any changes. First of all, 12 itself difficult. I would prefer to play with 11 only, because of you I have to find one 12th player. But so Australia looking fresh and good before the matches begin in England. Of course, kicking off in 10 days time with a test match, one-off test match against India, which for us, the Indian team at some stage will arrive on English shores, except for Cheteshwar Pujara, that is, who is gone early and put kerchief in the dressing room. I think maybe next week we'll talk about WTC final, unless anybody has anything interesting to say or new to say.
I'm just wondering which players are those who Rohit had said that they can go early because they are not qualifying.
Kohli.
Now Rohit cannot go.
He did not say qualify, he said qualify.
So who's going? So Siraj can go, Kohli can go, Ashwin can go, Akshar can go. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Umesh Yadav, Shardul Thakur. Umesh Yadav and Shardul Thakur. Umesh Yadav, I think, is he fit? I don't think he's fit, right? I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he's not injured. Yeah, he's injured. He's probably not going to play.
Yeah. And Shardul Thakur, who's already bowling for KKR, is apparently going to bowl at the...
Yeah.
Akshar Patel is in the squad. He will go.
Yeah, Akshay Patel will go.
3 spinners at the Kia Oval. What?
Trying to grip the Duke's ball first of all. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Practicing for a week in advance.
I think the plan is to play 2 spinners, and if one of them turns up injured, I think Akshar will play. Who knows? We'll find out. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week. Sandy, you want to talk about ads? You wanted to talk about the Chris Gayle and Kapil Dev ad. Please go for it.
No, that was Max, I think.
Oh, Max. Sorry, yeah, Max. Go away. Take it.
Yeah. So, like, on my stream, I don't generally get ads, but now my stream has changed. I'm getting these ads. So I saw the Sunil Gavaskar and Viru ad. I was like, "Acha, Naya Zamana." Like, how are you, Naya Zamana? First of all, you have itself retired. One decade has happened since Viru has retired, and he's telling Naya Zamana is him. Is this the demographic of gutka consumption where
it is, right?
Virendra Sehwag is the Naya Zamana?
It is like those young prime ministers who are like 63 years old only, right? That kind of thing.
And then the other ad had Kapil Dev and Chris Gayle.
That is a good combination, I must say. Like I think they thought out of the box. Very good box that too, and yeah, they're a very good combination for a pan ad. You remember Kapil's ponytail years? For a while, he was wearing a ponytail. He probably still does.
No, I don't think he does it anymore. But the mechanics of that ad are very interesting. He's at a wedding barat. On his phone, he is watching a game. The winning runs are scored, and then the barat starts, and he starts popping gutka into his mouth. Like, what is this series of events that have culminated in a match winning to a wedding commencing and you consuming gutka? Like, very...
I don't think you can put rationale to gutka ads and all, right? A random dude will stalk another random dude to find out that he's a star popping gutka, and coincidentally, you have the same gutka, so now you're friends, and a third guy comes and says, I am also popped the same
gutka. They're playing a gutka bad cop routine, man.
If you looked at last year, right, you had all these cred ads and those kinds of ads. Now, like, all that money is gone. There is no more fintech money. So all your ads are now either betting for some sort of fantasy platform or selling gutka. Or unless if you are one of those ageless guys like Hema Malini and Amitabh Bachchan, you can still sell anything that is available to sell.
Like, or Sachin Tendulkar. Yeah, spinny ad.
Sachin also I have not seen on any ad. Oh no, he's selling some mutual funds. Sachin is selling mutual funds.
Investments are subject to market
risk. Yes. Spinny cars. There is an ad with Yuvraj, Sachin and Anil Kumble reprising the Dil Chahta Hai trio going down in a car. Haven't you seen this ad?
Oh no, I've seen that ad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
First of all, again, similar to Sehwag and Gavaskar, this is like 3 generations in one car, by the way, which are supposedly representing one generation of, recently retired Indian cricketers. But yeah, and they're selling used cars. The Tendulkar selling used car is... this is the 3rd time we're talking about Tendulkar's spinny ad, by the way, starting from last year. I'm sure we'll new things. Go for it. I only brought it up each time, by the way, so it's my fault.
but
really, I was flabbergasted when I saw Hema Malini selling some cool fan, or KUHL, I think is how they spell cool.
Cool.
It's the way of how they do cool things, I guess. And like, who are these people? Like, some great IM brains have been sitting in some ONG or somewhere and say, well, let us get a youth icon to sell this. I know, Dream Girl, let us call her. Madam Ji. And she's like, I know the dialogue, Kent Aro. No, madam, different product. Same sari, different product. She's still in that blue sari sitting on the couch, but you're saying Kent Aro. She's saying cool fan. And this is where it has come down to, right? Like, you have the event which has the maximum eyeballs and you're selling fans. And Amitabh Bachchan, guy has done everything in life and he's selling some TVS scooter just because it has compartments to store 3 helmets in it. That is the selling feature in this scooter. Amitabh Bachchan will drive a scooter, I will believe. I will buy, ye mere ko chahiye.
No, but those 3 helmets, I think it is a ICC sponsored ad, because we should make a quick segue to the new ICC laws, which is about helmets now becoming compulsory in all important places. So maybe Amitabh is the new ICC brand ambassador. But so very interesting laws that have been promulgated by the ICC. What is your take on the helmet laws, guys? Sandy.
So first thing, I went to the ICC website, and they've said that the keeper will have to wear helmet if the keeper is near the stumps. They've not specified whether spinner, fast bowler, etc. So keeper, irrespective of whether it's a spinner or fast bowler, will have to wear helmet all the time if he's keeping close to the stump.
Also, if he's at the non-striker's end, because he'll be near the stumps when he's batting in non-striker's end, also he alone has to wear helmet, even if spinners are bowling, because they've said it. Fair point. Yeah.
Basically, anyone in a 3 feet radius of the popping crease of the batting crease has to wear a helmet.
But
I think it's a good law.
they have specified that the fielder has to be in front of the crease, so in front of the stumps. So a slip fielder cannot wear a helmet.
Well, he can if he wants to.
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to. Yeah.
Has a slip fielder ever worn a helmet? Sometimes they do if they've just moved from silly point or something. I guess
I've seen a short gully fielder wear a helmet sometimes when they are very close.
But
I think it's a good law,
though. Wicket. You have to be in front of wicket, because the only 3 things they've specified is you have to be, if you're facing a fast bowler, that is, you have to wear a helmet. If you're up to the stumps, immaterial of who's bowling. Like if Piyush Chawla is bowling or Jofra Archer is bowling, you have to wear a helmet. and then if you face like in front of the batsman anywhere in the some 2.5-3 feet radius, you have to wear a helmet, which I think is very fair, because in 2023, we can't have these kind of crazy accidents happening for a sport at the end of the day. So I think that I quite like and respect the rule.
If anything, I'm surprised that it took this long to come, because helmets have been in the game for such a long time now. And why not? They should have done this earlier. And even the umpires, man, finally they've given umpires that protractor which some umpires hold in their hand, right? Or drafter or whatever. They should give them also helmets. I think very important for umpires to have helmets.
I thought that umpire made it for himself. They haven't given it, or have they given it now?
I've seen more than one umpire hold it, right?
Multiple. No, I think it's formats. It's his own thing.
Oh, he launched a company. Yeah. Which umpire launched this?
I've seen Billy Bowden have it before, so I know for a fact that.
That is Billy Bowden's hand, Ra.
He's got that thing with which he'll. I know it's his hand. No, his hand is crooked also, but he's had that thing. I can't remember actually which umpires used to have it, but I always thought they gave it to them. I didn't know that they were to bring it from home, and it sounds like school. You bring your own protractor.
Bruce Oxenford.
Oh, is he the only guy who uses it? It's a good thingamajig. I think they should give them helmets. And by the way, I know this is probably bowlers themselves might not agree, but I think fast bowlers should, or all bowlers should be wearing helmets. Dude, sometimes batsmen hit the ball back really hard on the follow through. You saw what happened to that Keegan Meth, right? And he lost all his teeth, man. Once, like, there's nothing you can do if you're in the firing line, right? And your follow through, especially as a fast bowler. As a spinner, you could still brace and get out of the way.
But you can't bowl with a helmet.
Well, Rishi Dhawan has shown that it is possible, right? With that Hannibal Lecter thing that he wears. But, dude, I don't know. It's not that I wish for it to happen, but it is definitely a possibility. Batsmen are hitting the ball harder and harder back. So.
More than the helmets is more common sense, right? And I think a lot of people do that. People who don't, I don't know what's wrong with them. The more interesting rule, however, is the free hit rule that came after the Virat Kohli World Cup match.
No, there was no rule. That was just ICC creating much ado about nothing, right? Basically, there was no change to the rule.
They just issued the clarification saying that don't have questions. This is how it's going to be.
They issued it in a very confusing way. The way they issued it, people assume that something has changed and that those runs will now be awarded to the batsman, is what people assumed. So for the benefit of our listeners, when a no ball has been bowled and if a free hit is then delivered, the way it was bowled to Kohli in that game against Pakistan, who was a bowler, Mohammad Nawaz, right? And if the free hit hits the stumps and the ball then runs away somewhere away from the keeper and the fielders, batsmen are free to run and take runs. And these runs are counted as byes, as you would expect. the ICC for some reason confused everyone and seemed to suggest that those runs will be awarded to the batsman. And later, I think, reissued another clarification saying, no, sorry, that's not what we tried to say. But yeah, anyway, they will continue to remain biased as they should.
The committee was led by Saurav Ganguly.
Really?
Yeah. This committee of that came up with these rules was led by Saurav.
Yeah, it is. Ganguly, Jayawardena, and Roger Harper are the committee making the decisions.
Roger Harper, a blast from the past.
But yes, we were
Bowling
discussing.
attack.
We were discussing about how long it took them for the helmet. I remember, I think in 2000 or 1999, there was an incident with Raman Lamba, who was playing a domestic match and got hit on the head when he was at short leg, I think. And he died. But I mean, it took them 20 years to come up with that rule.
Yeah, I do believe, I mean, even Phil Hughes for that matter, right? It's now been how many years since Phil Hughes died? And only now you've come up with the law for batsmen. And that happened in an international game, right? Unlike Raman Lamba's situation, which was some local game. So it's strange that cricket took this long to get here, but glad that it has finally gotten here.
Phil Hughes was also domestic game, right?
Oh, sorry.
Sean Ebert was bowling.
As in it was, you're right. Sorry, that was a domestic game as well, but it was first class level at least. I think Raman Lamba's game was a club game of some sort, right? But all said and done. Yeah, it's taken.
No, but what the Phil Hughes incident did was I think he had a helmet. It was it just got through the helmet, right? So now you have that extra thing behind your neck. Yeah, behind the neck now. And I think Surya got hit the other day. And it hit him right there but he had that thing be just above the neck. So that has come in immediately, but the rule has been made mandatory now. So
But let's talk about the most important rule. They have done away with soft signal for umpires.
Greatest decision in the history of ICC decisions, I would say.
I think Harsha made a comment on how he wasn't happy with the rule of soft signal, right?
Did he? I don't remember. What did he say? Correct. Harsha is the one who defended the soft signal.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very weirdly.
I saw your comment on Twitter, and
you're right.
Actually, I replied saying that it's about giving more time to the umpire rather than making a split-second decision. And then I saw your comment. Your comment was on the same lines.
Yeah, I think you're just forcing the on-field umpire to give some decision on something that he probably doesn't have too much clarity on, right? You could then stretch that to say, why does the on-field umpire not have to give his opinion on runouts when he goes to the third umpire? And the only reason you don't ask him to is because the camera is pretty much conclusive 100% of the time. Now, the camera not being conclusive for a close bump ball catch is not reason enough to ask the guy on the field to give their opinion. And they clearly don't know, which is why they're going up in the first place, right? So
I know. But what do you do in those cases, right? You just say, because or even today, right? David Miller's catch that he took.
And it was clearly not out. That's the whole thing, right? Miller was decent enough to point out.
He was decent enough to himself say, please ask. I'm not sure. But if you look at the images.
No, it looked like he had grounded it. It looked like the ball had bounced.
No,
I know there's
I know. I'm saying, but what I'm saying in most of those cases, that fingers going under the ball thing is very difficult to get. And in this case, it is a lot easier because you could see the ball hitting. But otherwise, also always, I think there was a Rahane catch also where it's difficult to kind of judge that because of the angles that they have. And
let it be not out, then it's fine, right?
Correct. What's going to happen? Those are all going to be not out only because.
And I feel that's fine, because what are you getting by asking the umpire to adjudicate on it from 30, 50, 70 yards away at real time, right? What more clarity is he going to have than what the cameras are showing you? Nothing.
No. So the way, because see, when you make rules like these, right? You make rules saying that these rules should apply to playing where you have the basic facilities available. So, for example, at a club game or any of those games, you should be able to do the same thing. So, that which is why you don't have third umpires, you don't have all of these things. These rules are. In fact, we had this discussion fight when we were talking about the whole market thing as well, right? You cannot have three umpires because you cannot mandate that in every game. So now also, and I think this happens even with tennis, with that whole Hawkeye thing, and that's why I think the other day Djokovic was fighting with the umpire in the pre-tournament. You have to go with some things with that human instinct, because otherwise now you're saying that technology is the one who's going to decide when it's not 100. If it's 100%, it's easy. You say it's fine. But which is why I'm somewhat siding with
things here. I get your point, but I think there are 2 points you're talking about, right? First, for club level games, etc., where you don't have the technology, it's fine. You don't have the technology, you go with the best case or what the umpire thinks, and you go with the umpire's gut feel because there is really no other alternative. The other point you're making is that technology sometimes, when it is available at the highest level, is not conclusive. Now, that's a very different point, right? The technology is not conclusive. I have no reason to believe the umpire's gut feel is equipped in any way to be more conclusive than technology. At least that's my fundamental going in assumption. You use the human being and his judgment when you don't have technology. When you have technology, the technology is better. That's my opinion. And hence, that when you do have it, don't go back, don't fall back on the human thing. It's the same thing that happens with the third umpire and the run out, right? Since 1994, you don't have cameras at every game. When you have cameras, you use them, and the on-field umpire defers to the third umpire when he doesn't know. As simple as that.
Does this apply to LBW as well?
LBW?
No, right?
No.
Umpire's call.
No.
Because you have wicket-sitting umpire's call.
So umpire's call is
there's no soft signal in
soft signal
LBW
is not
at all, right?
Yeah.
Soft signal only applies really to
Catches.
bump balls, right? It's only to catches. Yeah.
But I think it is out. What do you think is the thing? Now you're saying I don't know. You just tell me what should I do?
Yeah. Or I mean, honestly, I'm okay with the soft signal also. The problem I had was with the third umpire then basing his final call based on giving inordinate importance to what the soft signal was. Sometimes even when the evidence is clearly pointing that the soft signal was wrong, because then the third umpire double guessing. And this is the other thing, right? Now we've also got this unique window into how umpires think, thanks to this whole wide and no ball review situation. There are half the third umpires are operating on wides, man. Like there is no clear law on what is a wide, what is a no ball for height. They're all drawing their own lines and saying, yeah, this looks like, he's crouching a little bit. So we've had multiple examples of no balls being called very randomly by third umpires. So
yeah, this IPL, I think it has clearly showed that the Faf no ball was one such thing, right? Where second bouncer above shoulder level, and
very random. And very, very often third umpires have this tendency to go with what the on-field umpire said, regardless of what the evidence is showing, whether what the on-field umpire said was right or wrong. And you're seeing that a lot with these calls. Again, I don't know how well-trained these third umpires at the IPL are. But
we're seeing this at we have seen this at the WPL as well. These no ball calls, same thing now have happened here in the IPL as well. Unless you have technology which is also automatically giving you, because they do this in NFL really well, right? Where as you're watching the broadcast, they will put where the 10-yard line is. On your screen, they'll show where the 10-yard line is. They'll show you have 4 yards to go and so many yards. So there, you don't need to depend on the TV umpire. They have a TV umpire as well. As a viewer itself, the play caller itself can say, "Yep, they have not reached the 50-yard line. They have not reached the 45-yard line." You can tell. The on-field referees don't know if they have reached or not. They'll still refer to the third umpire, and third umpire will say, "Yep, you have not. They have crossed the lane or they have not crossed the plane." But here, our broadcasts don't have that, wherein you're automatically drawing lines on these replays, wherein say this is where the waist is. So now the umpire is making his own anatomy, saying, this is like N. Srinivasan wears his pants near his chest, right? Famously. So N. Srinivasan's waist starts from here versus, Hardik wears his pants below his waist. So his waist. This is nonsense.
Okay, too much information. By the way, Max Da Vinci, this is why you're on this podcast, since you're the Vitruvian man of bits and pieces. You know exactly how human anatomy should be correctly lined up and dissected. So, yeah.
But you need to have those kinds of things if you're going to rule on these, saying, okay, where the shoulder ends and where the waist starts and these kinds of things, because people are randomly going saying, yeah, it looks like some 45-degree angle, therefore it is a no ball. Like garbage.
Yeah.
I think it shouldn't be difficult for them to, put in a superimposed image of the batsman standing and then evaluating whether it's a no ball or not. And
Macha,
same for the
I honestly now don't even know what the law is anymore because I'm hearing those third umpires, each one is saying something new. Like, oh, yeah, when he's standing, this looks like it is below his waist, but he's actually crouching. So, and I've also heard an umpire say, oh, he may be crouching, but it is now going over his waist, so it is a no ball. I
Yeah,
actually now don't know
he's standing fully erect.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Seriously, it's a family broadcast. But yeah, these umpires, I don't know.
No,
I'm glad
the
swap
third
signal is
umpire
going away.
audio, if you put it actually with some Kenny G music,
Yeah.
it is pretty suggestive. Can you go in? Can you have another angle? Can you do it slow? Can you bring it in again?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm good.
move forward.
Yeah. Rock and roll, please. Yeah. Cool. Anything else, guys? We can wind up otherwise. We've gone on for a while.
Cool.
We
Kosa?
can. There are,
Yeah.
coaching changes, but we'll
We'll keep that later, man. Too much long it becomes otherwise. Okay, I'll wind it up.
Okay.
Right, we've reached the end of this episode, and in a classic case of foretelling, we have lost one of our members, the original 4 that we had at the start of this podcast, and that is Murali Sadakopan, who has had to go away for a stand-up act, and he was, as I told you earlier, dressed up in Lucknow Super Giants jerseys. So which is the first team that is going to be knocked out of the IPL in order to go and do comedy off the field. So there you go. We will see whether this is how it pans out in a week's time. But representing Chennai Super Kings, Gujarat Titans, and Mumbai Indians, it is Sandy G, Max Da Vinci, and myself, Nitin Sundar, saying bye-bye at the end of episode, I think, 72. Say bye, guys.
70. Have fun, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.